All right. We are so close to the Sun playing basketball for their final sunset season. I don't know how you feel about that name. It's kind of insulting almost. But before we get into that, we want to come to you with the full roster analysis. If you're a Houston fan, chiming in for our last season in Connecticut, we want to get you familiar with the players. If you're a more casual fan, want to update you, or if you're a diehard fan, just want to hear about your favorite players from last season. This is the episode for you. We'll get all into that and more here on episode 47. We're almost at the big 5-0, Joe. Personal life stuff. How you doing? How you feeling? Are you ready for some women's basketball?
Hey everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty excited. Some of the preseason games I've definitely tuned into, just like half watching it, but like still like happy to watch it, just knowing we were around the corner. Kind of weird how the preseason schedule was, where like a lot of teams played like one or two games already, and like
Yeah,
here we are, like just hanging out until
just
you know
signing players.
tonight as we're filming this. But yeah, no, I'm really excited for basketball to be back. WNBA, we talk about it all the time. It's like it's just a different quality of basketball, like comparably to like the NBA or uh, college. Like it's very similar to the college game, and that's like
Yeah,
what I like versus the NBA. I mean, playoffs are exciting. Don't get me wrong in the NBA, but
yeah.
there's just something
The
about
first. This has got to be the best first round of the NBA playoffs in a while. There's a lot of parity, a lot of close games. Even if in like a 3-1 series, just been close games and stuff.
yeah, no. So very
But
excited for ball to come
usually,
back. I'm actually excited, or not excited. I'm actually curious here for our opening segment. How do you feel about the Sun charging for physical tickets to your game? Like
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 extra.
normally it's paper only. They're like giving like yeah, I believe they're charging extra for a physical like a
Commemorate.
memory of the game that you go. Thank you. A memory that
Commemorate.
you go.
Oh yeah, a memory. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think that's kind of bullshit. But I mean, it's the last season. I get why they're doing it, but yeah,
And
it
will
probably
you get
no. We never have gotten. We've always gotten the sent to your phone tickets.
mm-hmm.
So I doubt that's going to change. I don't know if they were like $5. That's kind of cool. Kind of a middle ground where people can buy it and they don't rob you. But if it's going to be like $15, $20, that's just stupid.
I'm pulling it up now to see how much. Go to our website naturally. I gotta assume it's on here. Yeah, I don't love that they're like charging you for it. I feel like that's kind of like if you bought the ticket, you should just
Yeah, I'm looking at
like
their.
go in there, go to a table and exchange it for the physical ticket, and it should be just like generic. It shouldn't be like
Yeah. In exchange,
you
would
have
be
to
cool. They
spend
have some really
more.
cool shirts on the shop.
Oh, they
They. I'm
always do.
surprised. I'm surprised they don't have any like last season shirts or something.
I'm sure they will at some point.
Why don't they sell all these at the games? I feel like they sell like one of them. Like they had the Marina Big Head one, and now they have a Sanaya one on their shop. There's a lot of cool ones. The first one they show, the vintage one, is sick. That like off, what's that, like an egg color,
Mm-hmm.
off white. I don't know. I love the ones that just
So
the player T-shirt color. They have the number on the back, but they just say the Sanaya Rivers on the front. It's like the opposite of it. I don't know. It's weird.
I like the one I almost pulled the trigger last year, but then like the sale they had, like the shipping was the same cost as the sale, and I was like, I don't really feel like spending money on this. And it was the Sun logo, and all the other teams were like rotating around the sun, and I was like, this is
Oh, yeah.
cool. I like the concept. So I have the ticket info. If you want to get the physical commemorative ticket, God, I'm so bad with words with more than
Commemorative.
four syllables. Commemorative.
There you go.
The it costs $20 a ticket.
Jeez.
So kind of lame if you ask me.
I think this is new to this year. On the CT Sun website, they have like, you remember the clip art like helper guy?
Oh, they have a question.
Yeah, they have Blaze doing that.
I did notice that. I actually, in preparation for this episode, not getting too far off task, I was gonna ask them why they don't have the height and like the college of the rookies, some of the rookies.
I don't know how they don't even have photos.
Yeah, that's because didn't we have media day already, or do we not have our media day yet?
No, we did. I think we did, but either way, they just put any photo up. Harmony Turner doesn't have a photo. She was drafted. It was last year's class, so I don't know what they're doing. Layla Lacan doesn't have. She's like one of our best players. She doesn't even have a photo. Makes no sense.
So small complaints. If anyone's listening from the organization, please update.
Get it.
For guys like us who love our stats, like please
just
update.
One day, hey Layla, pose real quick. Fucking stand there. All right, we got it. All right, but all right, let's talk about some players individually. We talked about the rookies already a lot, so we're going to leave them out. There's 10 players we're highlighting today that are likely to make the team. I think one or two could get cut. We'll talk about that as we get to them. But we're going to start with our longest tenured player. It's Olivia Nelson-Ododa. We got her in a trade with the Sparks. It was Olivia Nelson-Ododa, Jasmine Walker, and the rights to Kiana Smith from the Los Angeles Sparks in exchange for Jasmine Thomas and the 2023 first round pick that was 10th overall. That was Zaya Cook was taken in that spot. So I believe we by far got the best player out of that draft or out of that trade, excuse me. And yeah, let's talk about her. She is 6'5" from Lansing, Michigan. She went to UConn from 2018 to 2022. Was the 19th overall pick in 2022 by the Sparks. She is first team All Big East in college, second team All Big East, stuff like that. Hasn't hit anything like that yet in the pros. But we think a big jump is in order this season and beyond. She is signed for 2 years. She's an unrestricted free agent in 2028. She makes $735,000 this year and $700,000 next year. Some of her stats: last year she started 21 games, which the most in her career was her rookie year, but it's 6. Playing by far the most minutes of her career, 21.6. Shot 50% from three-pointer. I don't know if she shot 2 or 4 or whatever it was. It wasn't a lot. 70% free throw shooter, 8 points per game, up from about 4 as her career high before that. Over a block per game, almost a steal per game, and almost assist per game. Another minutes jump should be in order this year, whether it's a couple minutes, 3, 4. But usage should be way up for her this year. I'm excited. I love my bigs. In the W, it's a very important part of the game. And UConn girl, so she's always been one of my faves. I think this is the year she can put it together. Joe, from a technical standpoint, what do you like about her game? What do you think she needs to improve on, and what do you expect from her?
Yeah, so I think last year she kind of got lost in some minutes with Tina, right? We were hoping that it was going to be a nice 1-2 punch out of the forward positions, and then it just kind of didn't work out that way. The Sun made a decision midway through the season to start bringing her off the bench versus starting, and then Morrow started, as Morrow started ascending, Morrow became the starter, and Liv came off the bench. I'd be very curious to see how the Sun look to go, whether they're going to start big or whether they're going to start, small. I guess those are the two options, right? But no, for Liv, like things that I like about her game, she's very good in the mid-range. Last year we noticed she had a really nice soft touch, mid-range jumpers. I don't remember what the final number ended up being, but I believe we ended up like top 5 in like mid-range scoring in the league, and she was a big part of that. Nice soft touch at the elbows on the short corner baseline jumper. Very good defensively. She was shot blocker, pretty good rebounder. Like we had kind of expected that she was going to take that jump playing more last year, from 2 years ago into last year. I think if you look at her this year, you're going to wonder again, is she going to be playing with Brittany Griner? Is she going to be playing with Morrow? Is she going to be playing with Edwards? What's kind of good about those four bigs is they can kind of all play with each other, which is good. There's not really one where you're like, oh no, if Griner and Nelson Adota are on the floor together, it's too big, or if Aaliyah Edwards and Morrow are on the floor together, they're too small. Like, no, you can kind of like mix and match, which is good. Now, I think the biggest thing for Nelson Adota is, I believe in the first half of the season as well, she was up in the 80s for free throw shooting, and then her numbers dipped pretty heavily in the second half. So continuing that strength, because she's long, athletic, like she got to the line a lot last year. So she needs to continue to like hit her free throws. And then there's a handful of games that I remember standing out where she got in foul trouble. And it was like, games where like Tina was gassed and she was out there on the floor and we kept her on the floor. So it was like she had 4 fouls in the third quarter and like really disrupted her rhythm. So I think her staying out of foul trouble is really important. Now, again, we do have more depth in the front court this year, but we protected her. We signed her to a big deal. You don't do that to a player unless you have big plans for them. So I think really like she, as much as Griner can be the leader from the veteran and the experience standpoint, I think a lot of our younger players look to Liv as like now like the in-house mother to like kind of lead them and be a leader. So I'm looking to see her as a leadership position. I can see her being more on the microphone, getting interviewed during games, after games. Like, it's time for Liv to take that next step in being an important piece on a rebuilding team.
Yeah, I mean, she could, if they assigned a team captain, could easily be it. It probably would be this next person we're going to talk about based on leadership and experience, but based on the girls and the team and the locker room, having been there the whole time with seeing all these girls, I feel like she could easily be in that role. And she's already taken over Marina's Instagram. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Yeah, like for the teammates gatherings and like you didn't see her a lot last year in this stuff. I don't know if she was off doing modeling jobs a lot inside or getting her money that way, because she's a fucking superstar outside of the game. But yeah, now she's doing a lot of video content with Sanaya and Anissa. Anissa's getting more in there too. She wasn't as around or as loud on the social media game besides doing workouts last year. So it's cool to see everyone having a close, tight-knit group of girls or women, I should say, for this season, because it will be our last in Connecticut. And we want to make it a special one. Next week will be our previews, but looking at predictions of like odds and what's supposed to happen, I'm a little shocked at where some teams are, including the Connecticut Sun being in dead last. Let's just talk about that right now for a second. I don't agree with that. We're going to come in dead last. I think this core is really good. But we're gonna talk about each one of them. So that's Liv. Anything else before we get off to our biggest signing of the season? We did talk about her a lot. It is Brittany Griner. She is making $1.19 million. She is a free agent after 2027, but I think literally everyone expected her to sign here, so she would sign with Houston, so she can play in Houston, which will be in 2027. So it's probably like we can overpay you this season because we're not signing that many people maybe, and then we'll sign you for 2 years for less next year. Just want to do a different contract and have more leeway maybe. I don't exactly know how contracts work. I'm not a math guy. I'm not a contract guy, but it's just speculation on my end. Otherwise, if she goes anywhere else next year, I have no idea why she signed with us this year. But as a player, she is one of the all-time greatest WNBA players and centers in history, and that's saying a lot. There's been a lot of good ones. 6'9", from Houston, Texas. Like we said, she's 35 years old. Went to Baylor, was the first overall pick in 2013 by the Phoenix Mercury. Spent her entire career there, except last year where she was on the Dream. And she came off the bench, I believe, for the first time in her career. And then this year she signs with the Sun for over $1 million. She was a champion, a WNBA champion in 2014, a 10-time All-Star, a 2-time scoring champion, an 8-time blocks leader, 2-time WNBA peak performer, 3-time all WNBA first team, 3-time all WNBA second team, 2-time WNBA defensive player of the year in 14 and 15, 3-time WNBA all defensive first team in 14, 15, and 18, 4-time WNBA all defensive second team, WNBA all rookie team, WNBA 25th anniversary team. She's also won 3 Russian National League champions, 4 EuroLeague champions, a Russian Cup winner, an NCAA champion, and most outstanding player, 2-time Naismith College Player of the Year, 2-time Wade Trophy Award winner, 2-time John R. Wooden Award winner, 2-time AP Player of the Year, 2-time USBWA National Player of the Year, Honda Sports Award, and Honda Broderick Cup, 3-time WBCA Defensive Player of the Year, and there's a lot more for her there. All right, so all those awards and statistics and everything, and Brittney Griner has even more to name, but it's already a long list. She, like we said, came off the bench the last season of her career, had the lowest points per game at 9.8, but she's really a 17 to 18 points per game shooter if she was a starter, which I assume we'll get into it later about our projections of the roster, but I assume for a lot of games she's going to start, whether it's a split first half, second half, or spot starts or spot bench appearances. But I think she's going to be more than a 9.8 for us per game. I think she's going to be over 10. I'll say that now. Where exactly won't be known until the games start, because she could. Again, this team could go anywhere. We could really focus on our youth, or we could really focus on Brittney Griner and the new pieces that Burke and we'll get into them, Diamond Miller. But Joe, what do you love about her game? What do you think, if anything, needs to improve? What are your expectations?
Yeah, I wouldn't really so much say like improve at this point in your career. I think really for us is she Tina 2.0, or is she going to find a way to impact winning? We talked about Griner, or we talked about Charles last year as we thought she was still going to be a solid defender on the floor. I think we were both a little underwhelmed with how she was on that end of the floor. But on offense, there were nights where she still put up her numbers and she was still getting 20 shots a game. Now, is that something we're going to look to do with Griner? Is Griner getting 20 shots a game, or is Griner going to continue to be a piece like she was in Atlanta last year? Now, don't get me wrong. Atlanta has a phenomenal roster, right? They've all-stars almost at every position. But at the same time, it's like, Griner's a playmaker. She doesn't have assists, but she can still handle the ball on the perimeter to get into a dribble handoff, to get into an action. She can, she rebounds still at a pretty high clip, her per 24 minutes a game, versus playing 20 minutes a game. Does she snag a few more rebounds? She's a great post-up player. Obviously, she's still 6'9", can still shoot it over somebody in the post over most of the league. I agree with you what you said that she's probably going to be a double-digit scorer, probably comfortably, whether that's 13 a game or something along those lines. But I'm just very curious to see, again, is it Tina Charles 2.0 and we're just celebrating that we got a vet? Or is this a piece where it's like, hey, you're mentoring the young, but you're also going to make an impact? I love Brittney Griner on defense. She's still a great defender. She's still going to get her shot blocking. She's still going to alter shots that aren't going to show up in the stat books just from being, the presence that she is. Again, is she a starter? Is she splitting time? Is there minute restrictions that are needed? Is she a full go? Like, it's a little bit what do I want to say? It's a little bit like uncertain, I guess, how we're going to use her. I mean, it'd be great if she can go out there, play 30 minutes a game, and turn back the clock, 4 or 5 years, and really have her be a high level player. But
I mean, if she turned back the clock to 2024, like, I think that's what I'm saying. I don't know if like her age has even hit her yet, because like if she wasn't on a stacked team last year, if she was still, or even if she was still on Phoenix, like as like without another big besides Sabali, there's no true center, I don't think, outside of the rookie. One of the rookies I think was a center, but yeah. And then so I think she could have easily been a 17 point per game on Phoenix last year. So yeah, it's hard to like say, because she was on such a nasty roster with Brianna Jones with the splitting time, who also gets underutilized in that roster. Like some days she could have 10 points in a quarter, and some days she could not score 10 in a couple games.
Yeah. So what are we gonna get? I mean, you hope that you get the 15 and 8 versus not 8 and 6 or 8 and 4. Like, you're hoping that happens, but we don't know. We don't know what the roster. But you got to think she's gonna be, when she's on the floor, she's gonna be a calming force to throw it into the post like Tina was last year. And again, she can still hit a turnaround fadeaway. She can still back down and hit a hook shot off a bank shot. So yeah, I am excited. I'm just wary of my excitement versus like how excited I was for Tina last year.
Yeah, her first 4 years she was a 14 to 15 points per game scorer, and then for every year after that she was 17 and up until last year. So, and then
she's one of the greatest 20 WNBA players of all time. Like, we're still getting that player. It's just Tina
I think was a little more at the end of her run compared to Griner. But playoffs, she's only played in 5 playoff games the last 2 years. Last year with Atlanta, she only played in 10 minutes in the 3 games, didn't start any of them, and averaged 4.7. But in 2024, in only 2 games, she scored 17 points per game in the playoffs. And then she played in the most of her career by far in 2021, 11 games, started all of them, scored 21.8 points per game. So it's got to be something like that left. But yeah, now we will go to what I think probably both of our most impactful player, most important player will be Leila Lacan, number 47. I know if I said the numbers for the other one, but Brittany Griner is number 42, and Liv is 10, as she always has been. Well, both always have been, but not with us. Leila Lacan, coming from Rodez, France, 5'11", was the 10th overall pick in 2024, but did not come over until last year. So she is on the same timeline as Morrow and Rivers, which is amazing. They're all restricted free agents in 2029. Lacan is 21 years old. She makes $289,133, which is absolutely ridiculous and a steal. That's only 4.1% of our contract, the lowest amount of anybody making significant money, not on a camp deal. She didn't come over for a while last year because of a Euro Cup, but in 25 games she ended up becoming a starter. Started 15 of them, 26.6 minutes a game, 10.4 points, over 2 steals, which was second in the league behind Gabby Williams, or she might have even passed her at the end. I cannot remember. She was 1 or 2. Gabby played in a lot more games, but what are you going to do? Over 3 assists, almost 4 assists a game, 2.5 rebounds, was 86% from the free throw line, 22% from 3. Some games she was like very good. Some games she would 0 for 7 or something from 3. And then from field goal, she's very good, 47%. Very much looking forward to her being here all year. She's not in camp yet. I don't know if Angloma's there yet either, but she was there for the draft and for media day and stuff, but I haven't seen any highlights of her. Maybe I haven't paid enough attention. But yeah, Layla Lacan, that's what we're talking about. Maybe the most important person on the team, our potential ball handler. You see her more as an off guard ball. I see her more as a point guard. Get into it.
Yeah, I mean, Layla, we were talking. I mean, when we even first started the podcast, we were just like I was counting down the days for Layla to come over. You just watch some of her film overseas, and you're just like, oh, she's legit. Like, this isn't just like, oh, I'm good in Europe. No, this is like, she's a very good basketball player. I think what was exciting about her is, as simple as this might be in basketball, but like, she has an incredible left hand for a righty basketball player. And we had talked about it a lot last year. The games we went to, we were like, if we couldn't dribble right, like, we struggled, and it was bad. Like, no one could like break someone off one-on-one on defense to like get into the lane and make a play. Everything was difficult. Then Layla comes over. Unfortunately, Marina got hurt like almost immediately once Layla came over, because it would have been a lot more fun seeing the two of them in more games together. But like, she's just a game breaker. She does on both sides of the floor. It took her a little bit to get used to the WNBA rules versus the EuroLeague rules, where you can be more physical and, like, bump people. And like, once she made that adjustment, like, she was one of the best on-ball defenders, and she would jump passes and get into the lanes. And like, then her and Naya just became like a terror on the perimeter. I do think she will continue to play point guard for this team. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, her playing point guard. I just see her as a wing that can then make a play in that way, where a lot of times at the top, they were blitzing her and Layla during the season because they were the two, playmakers. But I think the biggest thing for her next development offensively is the 3-point shot. It's more, even if she's taking 3 or 4 a game, like, she's got to hit 1 or 2 almost every game. Like, she has to keep teams honest. She's so fast, her first step, that if she starts hitting threes at a more consistent like clip, then like, they're going to have to react, and then she's going to be able to pump fake them, go by them, and finish with her left hand, make a play to the shooter. There were so many times last year she drove, and then she's throwing one-handed passes to the opposite corner and getting lesser shooters wide open shots. Mm-hmm. Whether that's Torrey, whether that was Peters, whether that was I don't know if she played with Jaylen Brown, but like, players of that level that were on the floor with her, like, she was getting them open looks just by her creating. So like we said, she's one of the most important players in the system for sure. Very interested to see if she takes a second year jump, what those stats look like, and just another year stronger, another year under her belt running the system and being in the WNBA. For the fans out there, you'll hear us reference her as Lay Claw just because of her defense. It's very Kawhi Leonard-esque, and like, she's just fun to watch. I'm excited to see what year 2 looks like for her, when we're going to need a little bit more scoring for her for sure.
Yeah, we were asking in this or the next episode of last year's podcast, the team, we were saying who's going to get the assists for this team, who's going to take over the point guard, who's going to be that ball carrier, and we were hoping Lacan could eventually come and be that, and I think she has been almost 4 assists per game. On a better team this year, she should probably average over 5.
I mean, pick and roll with Griner, like, she's going to throw it up perfectly.
I don't think there's a better passer on the team, so I don't know. I would love to see her with the ball in her hands and everyone else creating around her. She's won the French League in 2025 and one of France's best young players. So lot to expect from her now that she's proved it. Next, we have our draft picks from last year. First, the 7th overall pick in 2025, Anissa Morrow from Chicago, Illinois, went to DePaul locally and then transferred for her last year to LSU. 6'1". She makes $331,563. Another insanely undervalued rookie from last year. She won a bunch of awards in college, the Katrina McLean Award. or accolades, I should say. WBC Coaches All-American, second team All-American AP. She played 41 games last year, started 23 of them, almost 20 a game, 20 minutes a game at about 19. 37.5% from the field, 24% from three, 75.8 from the free throw line. Numbers can go up. 7.7 points per game, 6.9 rebounds, almost a steal, half an assist. If she really becomes a full-time starter, she's on double-double watch, especially if everyone's trying to box out Griner. She can get a lot of sneaky rebounds. But yeah, we've seen her for a year. I loved what I saw of her. Very hard playing power forward who plays much bigger than 6'1". Joe, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, last year we had talked about whether or not her position getting drafted, if she was going to stay as a 4, if she was going to kind of be a 3. We did see them experiment with the big lineup last year with Tina, Nelson Adota, and Morrow all on the floor together. And like Morrow shoots it just well enough where she can be on that outside and then still have an impact. She's one of those players that you don't really have to run a play for her on the floor, right? She can be someone who catches it, on a cut to the basket or puts her head down from the top of the key and like attacks the rim. I think her next step, and we had talked about this a lot last year too, is her shot selection, right? She's such an aggressive player. I think she was, and as a rookie should, she was figuring out what she could still do from her game in college to her game, her rookie year in the league. And like there'd be flashes where it's like she'd bump into somebody's body and go right through them and get an and one, and she's super strong. And then there'd be times she'd bounce off a big and she'd be like, why the hell are you taking that shot? So I don't know how much you've seen Aneesa Morrow over this offseason. She looks even more ripped than she was last year. Definitely put on muscle, definitely put on strength. I think for now I'm giving up my dreams of her playing the 3. And I think for this roster, we will get into our predictions for potential starting lineups. I think she's probably the starting 4. Like I could see Liv coming off the bench behind Griner to start the season, and I could see Morrow being out there as like a threat. Now she's another one, and it's going to be on repeat for this whole podcast, just how this roster was constructed last year. Morrow has to shoot it at like 30% from 3 as well. There were a lot of times she was going 0 for 4, 0 for 5 in a game as well. She's one that as a stretch 4 and being 6'1", she has to be able to hit an outside jumper. Her mid-range game was good last year too, but extending that range, and again, someone like Griner on the inside, she's going to see double teams. I don't think most of the league is just going to play her one-on-one in the post. So like other people have to be ready to spread it and shoot it. And then defensively, honestly, Morrow had a good defensive year last year. Like I think there was a couple times she missed maybe like some backside rotation help the helpers, but like, that's all again, getting used to the speed, getting used to the rotation. So I Morrow's another 1 year too that like I can't see her failing just because of her work ethic and like the amount of time she obviously puts into her body and probably into her game, even though we don't get to see that side of it all the time. But she's an animal. I could see her actually finally getting close to that double-double number, like you said, more consistently. And yeah, I expect big things from Aneesa Morrow.
Yeah, her last year in college was her best shooting from 3. She shot 29%. So if we can get that, that'd be a lot better. And her game would be just able to take the next step. Next up, we have the very next pick in the 2025 draft, first round, 8th overall, out of NC State via South Carolina, 6'1" from Wilmington, North Carolina, born a day after me, but almost a decade later, sadly. Sanaya Rivers. She makes slightly under what Morrow makes based on the pick. 309,622, both about 4.5, a little more, a little less. But Sanaya was a thief, as like Lacan was, not to the extent, but we saw her a lot more. So if overall, she got more steals. Started 25 games of 42 she played in, 26 minutes a game. She could play a full. Her cardio is good enough to play a full game any given night. 40% from the field, 34 from three, 75 from the line. 2.8 rebounds a game, 2.7 assists, 1.5 steals, basically a block per game, in 9 points per game, pretty much. One of the more surprising rookies. Not that she wasn't highly touted or anything, just good, very good class, but she kind of can do everything. Kind of a jack of all trades. Wouldn't say she's specifically. I would say stealing, like getting steals, defense. She's excels more than most. But offensively, she can get to the hoop. She shot well mid range, and then her 3-point shooting, she shot 34% out of nowhere. We thought she was going to be a 20-something% shooter, because in college her threes were her highest was her senior year at 27%. Besides that, it was 26 and 21. So 34% is a huge jump. Hopefully that's not an outlier. Hopefully it's something she worked on and continues. But Joe, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of looking back at the draft order from last year. You know, you had Paige, Malinga, Citron, Irfin. Those seemed to be the big four, right?
Yeah.
Everyone thought those were going to be the top. You had Juste from the Valkyrie, Georgia Amore, Anissa Morrow, and Sanaya Rivers. Like, there's
Georgia
a chance
Amore,
that Sanaya Rivers.
Her highlight reel, I was watching it the other day, Georgia Amore highlight reel, it's fucking nasty. Like, I remember
she's legit.
I remember putting her to mocking her to us. But I'm glad we have Lacan.
No, she's legit. But I was gonna say, like,
last one.
Rivers, based on the value, could have probably been the steal of the draft.
Yeah,
based on like, where we got her and like what she did for us last year. And I'm not even talking like off the court. Like, her personality is just infectious. And like that's so important to a team. Like, she was friends with like everyone around the league during media and like at the All-Star game. Like, they don't just ask anyone to interview the All-Stars. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, they're like, no, Rivers, you've got it. Like, there's something that everyone just who is around you, and the energy is great. And then on top of that, she's a good basketball player. Like, that's very important. Again, we said we don't know how much her scoring is going to improve. I mean, if, again, catching and shooting, she turned it on towards the end of last year, figured it out. But like, she's not the type of person who I want to go out there and try to score 20 points a game. Like, her game just comes naturally, where it's going to be on steals, and because she's so fast and athletic, she's getting a fast break layup. It's going to be on the catch and shoot threes or mid-range jumper. Like, again, she's another one you probably don't have to run plays for. Like, she can break somebody down a little bit now. So I'm interested to see how she develops in year two. I mean, we said it before with Lacan, like the two of them, like that kind of makes us one of the best defensive backcourts in the league. Like, you can laugh and you can say the record was what it was, and they both played last year, but like, the games were a lot closer towards the end of last year than they were in the beginning. And a lot of it was because of our perimeter defense, which was great. So, you add a pro like Kennedy Burke in there, who's also a 3-and-D type player. You have Griner to protect the paint. It's a clear, like, the direction and the message under Mezion has been what he said all along. We don't have superstars. We have to build a roster that plays defense and wants to play defense. And between Lacan, Morrow, Griner, and Rivers for 3 draft picks and the big free agent signing, like, defense has been addressed. Like, it's going to be a struggle, ideally, every time you come play. Like, you might beat us, you might score on us, the record might not be pretty towards the end of the year, but like, I look at this roster defensively and I'm like, you're going to have to work for some baskets.
Yeah.
You're just gonna. So the question is, can we score? How much can we score? It's a scoring league, but Rivers year 2 should be an exciting player. Again, for her, she can play the 1, she can play the 2 or the 3. So she has a lot of versatility where she can play with different people off the bench and still have an impact.
Yeah, she's versatile. Infectious off the court. It's another thing you can say about this next person. She's shining more and more, I think, off the court. That's Aaliyah Edwards, number 8, 6'3" from UConn. First round, sixth overall in 2024. Had a really good college career at UConn. Is a much loved player overall in the league and in the area. She was traded on August 7th of last year for J.C. Sheldon and the right to swap first rounds in 2026. Washington had Minnesota's pick and Connecticut had New York's pick, and they did not swap. 15 games with us last year, all off the bench. Only scored 4.6 in 17 minutes. For Washington, she played in 21 games off the bench, about 13 minutes per game, and had 6 points per game that year or last season with them. And then her rookie year, she had 7.6 points, a career high, and 21.8 minutes per game. Started 17 of 34. She was almost an 18 points per game and 9 rebounds per game in her senior year of college. But yeah, it's a lot of potential. A lot of love from Connecticut there. People didn't want to see her go to Toronto because she's Canadian and on the Canadian national team. But we kept her, and we must think big things of her. We traded J.C. Sheldon for her, and we protected her. So will she live up to the hype is the question.
Yeah, I would even say, we don't need her to be the hype. She just has to, get back to making an impact consistently. I think health is important. She battled back injuries over the last couple of years, so that kind of slowed her down. It's not like her game has changed from college with anything we've seen. In college, she was a catch it at the elbow and make a move. She was a post-up player. She could shoot the occasional jumper, but she was attacking boards. I think that's kind of something that's been missing from her game is, being a threat on the boards. We watched a lot of games last year, obviously in person and streaming. And we talked about it all the time. We were like, her hands just were like stone, passes were coming in, they were on the money, and it was never a clean catch, or she bobbled, or she went to go shoot it and lost the ball, re-grabbed it, fell on the floor. Hopefully they worked on her hands and soft because, she finishes very well around the rim with both hands. She's a good hustle player. She's obviously important to this roster. I think having 4 bigs in a rotation is super important this day and age, especially, with how good the guards are getting. So, with the guards being able to, more space, you have to be able to protect the rim. And I think she could be that. But, yeah, for us, I don't really care about her points per game. I think it's really the other stuff. It's her defensive rebounds. It's her being, getting tips and deflections and just being active. I think that's how she needs to kind of look, because this year is really important for her. She's going now year 3, and once you get to year 3, 4, if you're not making an impact, younger players are coming up, and I would assume she'd get a chance somewhere else. She's not going to be out of the league, but I think for this roster, year 3 is very important to decide whether or not you're going to bring her back or if you're going to move off of her.
Yeah. She, I think it can be if she's good, our bench is actually solid. If we can get her to score 8 points off the bench a night while playing that defense you're talking about, and Liv is on the bench you think as well, that could be a really good second team. You keep Rivers or LeCan at a time, and then plug a couple of our new pieces in. I think we might be able to have 2 good rotations. But if she's the same type of player, some of our signings that we're about to get to aren't as high profile as they should be for us, then it might be a bad bad second unit. So a lot of ifs, but I am optimistic right now for the entire team. One of the reasons we signed Kennedy Burke to a $1 million deal for one season. She is 29 years old, 6'1", went to UCLA and was the 22nd overall pick in the second round of 2019. She played for Indiana from 19 to 20, and then Seattle in 21, Mystics in 22, didn't play in 23. From 24 to 25, she was on the Liberty, and now she comes to us for $1 million. We went over her stats a lot in the last episode. A quick recap. She played the most games of her career over the last two seasons with New York. 36 games, 38 games before that. Started only 9-3. But last year she played in almost 22 minutes a game, scoring 8 points a game. Her career high by far. Shooting, field goal, 3-point, and from the line, all career highs. So we're really we took a swing, which is we're projected to be one of the last teams in the league. Didn't have a lot of players to give $1 million to. This is a player that could easily be worth it with minutes and focal, like having her be a focal scorer, whether it's off the bench or a starter. You'd think you're paying $1 million. Maybe she starts, but as we'll get to it at the end, I'll save who I think will be the starters, I guess, and so should you. But I see her more off the bench. But hey, if she's the main second unit piece in scoring 10+ points a game, she could be worth the $1 million. She does wear number 22, which will have to change. She hasn't been given a number on the roster yet because Sanaya Rivers is 22. But besides that, I see her fitting in very well. We like her 3-point shooting. If I could find it again, it was career high. It was 41%. So, yeah, that would help. What do you got?
Yeah, no, I think it was a great veteran signing for a young team. She's the shooting and the defense, again, what this team roster needed. It was a great signing. Yeah, you probably overpaid for it, but it's gonna be something that, like, I think her veteran presence is just gonna help, like, be a calming force for this roster. I think there will be games she starts. I think there will be games she comes off the bench, but I do think she's gonna have a lot of impact. I'd be very surprised if she didn't. So great piece. I think, again, another player that can play with different units, right? Different lineups, different mixtures. So she's not like pigeonholed into a role. And again, she's definitely a candidate for someone whose numbers could have a little tick up if she's able to, shoot like she did last year. Now, maybe she doesn't get as many open looks as she did last year because she's not playing with Sabrina Stewart and Jonquel Jones. But you hope that, she's still going to get a decent amount of looks, and she's not going to try to force things or do something, different. She's a pro. She's a pro, and she's a steady, calming presence.
And in, for not WNBA competition, but without those players you mentioned, in the Women's Basketball League of France, she's two-time most valuable player in 23 and 24, two-time Major 5 trophy. I'm not maybe top 5 player. I don't know. Same years. And in the EuroLeague for women, she's an all EuroLeague second team in 24, two-time MVP of the month, two-time team of the month. I'm not sure how that's for her. 4-time MVP of the round, whatever the round is. So she's got some accolades there. So she's a Euro Cup champion in 26, WNBA champion in 24. She's been there, and we need people that have been there. Her and Griner are going to give a lot of lessons and advice to the youngins. Up next, number one, another one of our off-season signings, Diamond Miller, making $536,588. She is a restricted free agent next year. Burke and Griner are both unrestricted, so we have the right to obtain her. She is number 1, 6'3", from Maryland, out of Montclair, New Jersey. Shout out Montclair. It's not too far from us. She was the 2nd overall pick in 2023 out of Maryland. She played for the Lynx from 23 to 25, where she didn't get to do much because of the roster. Her rookie year in 23, she actually played and started in all 32 games she was in, 12.1 points, but since then, 2.9 points, 4.1, 3.9, 4 starts in 21 games, 10 minutes a game, 0 starts, 25 games, and 9 minutes. And then went to Dallas. She started 1 game, played in 15, 13 minutes a game, and almost 4 points. So another person we're expecting to do good based off how buried they got on their depth charts. She's a number 2 overall pick. If you go to that draft, it was Aaliyah Boston, and then her, and then Maddie Siegrist, Stephanie Soros, who's out of the league or never went to the league yet. Lou Lopez, I can never pronounce her name, from UConn. Yeah, Sensational. It's like the third. What's it called? Gets me every time. Syllable. And then Haley Jones, Grace Berger. It was a really Letitia Amire, Zaya Cook was a really weak draft, but she was still the 2nd overall pick. So the Lynx saw something in her in Maryland. But anything you see that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, again, we talked about her a lot when she got signed, but she's kind of like nasty when she plays. I think that's like the way to describe it. She's like a bull in a china shop. She gets the ball, she goes downhill. She has no fear on defense. She's gonna bump you. So like for those people who are thinking they're gonna miss Marina's crash outs, we might have we'll have to come up with something for Diamonds. But she's a physical player. Again, someone else who's gonna play defense hard. For her, it's the same thing as her last couple of years. It's, can she make an impact on the floor? Can she stay out of foul trouble? Is her shooting improved? But I do think she's someone, when Rivers needs a break or Lacan needs to come out or Burke needs to come out, like she can come into a game and go guard the best player on another team for a couple minutes and be physical and use her size. I mean, she's 6'3" as a wing. Like she's a 3. She's not a power forward center inside at that size. So super important. For this roster, I liked it. It's an opportunity for her to also rebuild her career, and see. I mean, she's getting paid like the number 2 pick, and like, again, she doesn't have to be the person on this team. So it's, again, finding her role. Can she make an impact? And Connecticut's Sun this year, as last year, it's kind of a land of the opportunity. Like the fans and the organization is begging for someone to step up.
Yeah. All right, these last 2 players we have are camp invites technically, but they've been around either with us or with the league. The first is number 5, Shea Petty, Shaylani Petty for Shea for short. She's from Boston, so semi-local. She went to Wright State and then Temple. She entered Wright State as a freshman in 2007.
Wow.
I was getting bar mitzvah. We were in middle school, 7th grade. She was a 23rd overall pick in 2012. Her career is crazy. She did not appear. She was waived in 12 and 13. Didn't get a shot at all from 14 to 18. Comes back in 19. Signs with the Mystic. Played in 15 games in 2019. And then 2020 played at 9 for them. And then for Phoenix played 8. Scoring 4 points per game for Phoenix. That was her most in 8 games. And then 21, she's with Phoenix the entire year. Plays in 32 games, starts 5 of them, 17 and a half minutes, just over 5 points. And then 2022 is her biggest year. 34 games played, 24 starts, 28.6 minutes, 41.8% from the line, 32.9 from 3, 89% from the line, from the free throw line. Sorry, from the field. I meant not from the line. And then 89% from the line, 10 points a game, 3.5 assists, almost 4 rebounds. Last year, she barely played again. 23, she barely played again. 18 games, 0 starts, 5.2 points. Doesn't play at all for some reason. 2024 doesn't appear in the league. Doesn't get a shot again. And then signs with Los Angeles for 6 games. Starts 5 of them. 5 points a game. And then Indiana doesn't start any, but plays a 14 minutes, 5 points a game. So she's like a 4 to 5 point per game scorer wherever she goes. She doesn't get many opportunities to start. But when she did, she was almost a 10-point per game player. I don't know if she's going to make this team. She has some playoff experience. 22 total games, 6 starts, averages about 6 points a game in the playoffs. 3 for Phoenix, 3 seasons for Phoenix, 1 with Indiana. She's 5'7", 37 years old. And if we need guard depth, she could be a good signing.
Yeah, I kind of look at her as I did Lindsay Allen last year, where it was like she's that veteran. She could be a veteran piece off the bench. Again, do I see her making the roster? No, but I was very wrong last year on certain people making and not making the roster. So, like, could she just be another veteran off the bench for a very young team? Shared wisdom. I mean, she's been around. It's not like she shows the resilience, right? She's there year in, year out trying to make rosters, and even when she didn't, she's never just was like, all right, I'm calling it a career.
Yeah.
So that stuff goes a long way, whether that's just like good vibes for training camp and some of the games. We'll have to see, what she has left in the tank. My expectations aren't high. I'd rather let the rookies have a chance. But we talk about the expanded rosters. She can be at the end of the bench, and then you do the two-way or the developmental player for one of the younger players to start the year, and then you could always make roster adjustments as the year goes on to manipulate all that. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Again, first game is going to be tonight. I would assume she's going to play as of recording, and I would assume that she's going to play in that game.
Yeah, I assume so. And I assume she probably scores a decent amount in a preseason game, having the experience she does. Our last player we're going to fully profile is Migna Torre, number 28, 6 foot forward, I guess, shooting guard. She's listed as from Nevers, France. She's 31 years old. Not much to say, really. 18 games last year. Didn't start any. 2 points per game, half an assist, half a steal, half a rebound. 35.9 from the field, 36.4 from 3. 0 from the line. I don't think she shot a single free throw last year. So she is just one of those players that, like, we kept adding random and getting rid of players. It was Diaby,
Aquanco,
and one other player.
Haley Jones, Jalen Brown. Like, it was like a
Jalen Brown. And then she stuck. I don't know if it was because she's French, and knows Mezion or what, or has good relationships with Lacan, whatever it is. But she signed a 7-day contract and stuck. So anything you want to see about her game?
I mean, it's tough because I was kind of surprised when they invited her back. If I'm not mistaken, her contract's just a training camp contract, right? So we could see her making the roster as a 12th player. Like, there's a world where that happens, but I mean, not much to say. I'm like, if she makes the roster, as long as she's not playing like 10 minutes a game or something over the young kid, like the rookies or whatever. Like, I'd rather those minutes go to the rookies. I'd rather Neepkins and Angola get the minutes over Torre.
Yeah, I hope she's only playing in blowouts, and I hope Charlize and who else would be on the end of the bench?
Angloma, by the way. I don't know why I just said Angola, but
Angloma, yeah.
I caught myself. But yeah, I don't know if she'll.
Forgot about it. It's this. I have no idea what this roster is going to look like. We'll predict it in a second, but I want to go over the coaching staff a little first. Rashid Mezion, whatever Joe says his name is, don't listen to it.
Mezion.
Usually just like a Mezzazine, Mesozoic.
People magazine.
Yeah. Rashid Mezian.
Med.
He is from France, but he was Belgian Sports Coach of the Year in 2023. He was also the Women's French Basketball League champ in 2024. This is his first time out in America coaching. Went 11-33 last year with a bad team. A lot of people were calling for his head for no reason, but I do think I don't remember if it was I just met people on social media, but like it was like, what did you expect from this roster? If they're gonna sign Tina and have her, she's gonna play all these minutes and do this. Nothing really. I don't think he could have done. And then Layla comes, and you kind of see his vision of ball movement and physical play. And I kind of like him. I like him as a personality too. He's kind of just low energy, but kind of goofy. But yeah, I think the team likes him. I don't think any players have any ill will against him. Anything we've seen or heard. But yeah, what do you like about his game, about the Euro game?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously a fan of the Euro style. At Staples, we definitely run a lot of actions that are, much more of a pass the ball, move the ball, 5 people involved. And, that comes from the European game. And I know as a crazy person I watch basketball differently than you watch basketball. This playoffs, you're starting to see a lot of teams run European actions in the NBA game, and they're scoring on it because no one knows how to guard it. And it's kind of funny to watch and we'll get more into it once we get into X's and O's with like Spain actions, with 77 actions, and just like different ball screens and flex actions. I could see that, with the roster being without Marina and Tina this year, who, as good as they are, we would call them ball stoppers, which just means when they catch the ball, it doesn't immediately move to the next person. They hold it and then make a read, and they're good enough to make a read, but it then ruins the flow of like the other 5 people on the floor, right? So like having this roster where there's not really a lot of people who are going to be breaking down individually one-on-one. I think we're going to see a lot more of Mez's vision this year versus last year. I mean, yeah, he's good. He's just like, the roster is being built. Like, he had a bunch of rookies and a 30 and like 1 pro, and then a bunch of 34-year-olds and up, with Bria Hartley, with Tina, like Lindsay Allen, people like the roster. You can see his vision with drafting Angloma, with drafting Neepkins. Like, you have Rivers and Morrow, who defensively they bring back Olivia Nelson-Ododa over Marina. Like, Tina's not even in the league anymore technically right now. So it's like, I'm hoping he gets the chance to really show out this year. My concern with the move is that if they move to Houston or something, like, they could potentially want their own coach in Houston and like start over again. So I'm really hoping like we see improvement from a record standpoint, because I normally wouldn't say it's that important in the second year of a rebuild, but like, it's important that this team shows that it's like going in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how involved the owners are with the Rockets or anything, but I don't know why you'd get your franchise and then be like, I'm going to just gut it. And
because they're a bunch of rich people who just want to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Like,
it doesn't make too much sense, especially how well they've been drafting. If you get rid of Morgan Tuck and Rashid.
I know.
Because Morgan Tuck would have to fire Rashid. And I don't know. I feel like I just feel like they'd have to get rid of all of them. And Jen, which whatever, but the other 2 I think are doing a great job. I don't know what Jen really does. Not saying that in a negative way. I don't know. I can't really judge her. I know Morgan Tuck makes the picks.
Right.
So she's done a great job. We have a couple assistant coaches. Roneka Hodges. She's been around. She's been on a bunch of WNBA teams: Houston, Minnesota, San Antonio, Indiana, Tulsa, and Atlanta. She coached as an assistant for Old Dominion, Colgate, and in college, and then the Liberty from 22 to 24, and has been with us since Excuse me. She's been with us since last year. She's also the Phantom BC head coach. So she got a 3-on-3 team, the Unrivaled. Thank you. That's what I was trying to remember in my head. She's a WNBA champion as an assistant coach with the Liberty as well. Speaking of, if we can go back to Leah Edwards, she dominated, I think, Unrivaled this year. So
She had a very good year.
Yeah. We also have 2 other assistant coaches, Pascal and Gilles and Ashley McGee. Just reiterating what the write-up was from last year when we read it. He and Gilles has been a Belgium assistant coach for a while on the Belgium team alongside Mezion. He helped the Belgium Cats to its first ever Euro women's title, gold medal in 2023. He also was a head coach for numerous professional clubs throughout Belgium himself. Where's Ashley's part? McGee joins the Sun of the coaching staff after most recently being with the Mystics in 23. Before that, she worked as a video coordinator for the Lynx and the Timberwolves. Video play-up development associate for the Timberwolves, and an advanced scout for the Sparks before that. So people with experience, but just in case you were wondering who those coaches were on the sideline, that's a little bit about them. So with the rest of the roster, like we said last time, there's 12 spots, 2 additional development spots. We listed 10 players, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's say Torre and Petty are not guaranteed. So that's 8 guarantees. You got Torre, Petty, Madison Hayes, Harmony Turner, Reagan Beers, who was signed after the draft, and then our 3 draft picks, Gianna Neepkins, Charlize Ledger-Walker, and Taylor Bigby. And then today we signed Kayla Oldecray. Not sure how that's pronounced, but she is from Texas University of Texas. Was signed originally by Dallas and was cut already. She's 6'6". She averaged her career best 10.5, 6.2, and 1.3 steals, 1.2 blocks at Texas. And they were pretty much nasty while she was there. So, that's another signing we got. So that's a lot of players that have to make this team or that can get cut. We have about, what do we say? We said 8 guarantees or 8 locks. So 4 women. We'll make our predictions next week, I guess. We'll do all that stuff. But just as an overall, Joe, what do you think the starting lineup would be right now?
I think looking at it, I wrote down different ones because I wanted to see how they looked when I wrote them out. But I think the one that I like the most right now is Lacan at point, Rivers at the 2, Kennedy Burke at the 3, Morrow at the 4, and Griner at the 5. I think we paid for the veterans to be here. I think they're going to start. And I'm curious what Griner's minutes look like. But I could see Liv being the first one coming into the game.
It's hard not to see it being Lacan, Morrow, Rivers, not in that order, Rivers, and then Morrow at the 3, Liv, and then Griner.
Yeah.
But then you have Nell and Gloma, who could easily be starting, probably if she's a potential stud at that pick. But then you have Kennedy Burke, who's getting paid, but I do think she could be a pretty good bench piece. I think Diamond Miller definitely comes off the bench. Edwards, obviously. But yeah, I mean, you got Neepkins too, who I think is definitely coming off the bench, but should get significant minutes as well. Those should be first round picks taken seriously. Her and Gloma. Charlize Beers and Bigby won't play probably ever if they make the team. I think Charlize will definitely make the team.
Charlize can be in one of those developmental spots.
I think she's going to make it regardless, wherever it is.
I mean, if you're looking at your top 10 as let's just say like Lacan, Rivers, Burke, Morrow, and Griner. Your second five as like positions are, you don't really have a backup point guard. I guess Neekins could technically play point guard, but you're looking at.
I feel like Sanaya just stays in and plays point guard or something like that.
Right. So you have Angloma, you have Miller, you have Neekins, Edwards, and Nelson Adota. Like that should be your 10-woman rotation.
Does that mean Shea Petty makes the team because we need a guard?
I mean,
Angloma can handle
like
the ball.
A name that's really interesting to me to see is Harmony Turner. Like she did average almost 20 in college. I know she got cut from Vegas last year, didn't make the roster, but like that's a point guard that's interesting. I mean, Petty obviously could be late. You never know who's going to get cut around the league. You know, we can keep an eye out for, but I do think there needs to be a third point guard on this roster because CLW is probably not ready to play like day one.
What if, so back to starters though. Say Griner's off the bench now.
Yeah.
Say it's Lacan,
Rivers,
Morrow. Do you think Rivers and Morrow are definitely starting?
I'd be hard pressed to think they weren't.
I think if anyone's not, it's Morrow.
Correct. Rivers is like 99% starting.
I think Rivers and Lacan are definitely starting.
That's the starting backcourt. Yeah.
It's do you go Liv and Griner
with Morrow and Edwards off the bench?
Yeah. If you don't, which one starts? I assume to start the season, Nell is off the bench, but like,
does Diamond Miller get a?
No, I don't think so.
3. Like,
I think Burke might start a power forward more than Miller would start anywhere. But I would, I don't know. I think I would go Lacan, Rivers, Morrow. Maybe Burke and Griner. I don't know. It's Joe Froze. I don't know if he's talking the same as I am. I don't know what you can hear. Let me see if I can remove him and bring him back. But personally, I don't think we can go wrong. In a lot of ways, I think having more players that you want is a good problem. We finally have depth. It's just how we're going to use that depth. But yeah, Nell Angloma, if she was on our team last year, she's an instant. If she was our draft pick last year, she's an instant starter. So it's hard to see where she plays and how much she plays. I want her to play a lot. Could she play and have Morrow or play power forward and Morrow come off the bench? I think we're going to have 2 good units, and I don't think our starters are going to play like the whole game, like significant minutes more than the second unit. Maybe like Neepkins will play lesser minutes, or like Diamond Miller come off the bench for lesser minutes. But I think like a core of our second unit is going to be a huge piece. But I think Joe had computer problems. He just lost internet. So I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, he's back.
Here, I lost internet, so I jumped on my phone real quick.
Yeah, I was just about to wrap it up.
But before we wrap it up, my question to you, and I don't know if you started answering or not, was do you think Diamond Miller gets a start in some capacity?
I do not. I think she'll be off the bench unless like injuries happen or something, and she steps up in a big way. But I think our potential. I was thinking like eventually does Angloma start and Morrow go off the bench. I think either way, our second unit is going to be significantly involved. I think
I do as well.
3 or 4 people. Maybe Neepkins joins and gets less minutes of those, and like Rivers stays in a lot more. But we have a good problem now. Like Neepkins and Angloma are people we want to see play. We want to see if Kennedy Burke and Diamond Miller can improve. Aaliyah Edwards as well. And then you have Morrow and Rivers who feel like they're going to grow insanely. So it's like we have a lot of abundantly good players that people are probably sleeping on because it's not like we're a stacked lineup in terms of the W, but
they're not big names yet.
Deserve to play.
Yeah, there's not big names yet, but there's a lot more. I mean, does Angloma kind of slide into that 2 position? You can kind of technically call her a guard versus a small forward, but like, yeah, there's literally some fun things that you can do with a lineup of your coach Mez, which again we're gonna see tonight in the first preseason game. See what kind of lineups he throws out there. I haven't seen anything about who's active and not active. We'll talk about that out next week, but yeah, looking forward to getting to the first preseason game for sure.
Yeah, we got about 30 minutes till tip. Should be a fun one. We play the Toronto Tempo for the first time ever. Should be good. Speaking of first game of the season against Seattle, we have tickets. Are you coming definitely with me, or do you have to see what's going on?
What day is it?
That's the Sunday afternoon game.
No, what day?
Oh,
Like-
the 10th.
Isn't that Mother's Day?
Is it? I know my mom's birthday is the day before, and that's where we do shit. So, when is Mother's Day? 2026. It's a terrible opening day if it is. Second Sunday of May. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, so probably not.
What a terrible weekend. Bring your mom to the stadium. Or to the, I'll definitely be up there though. We don't celebrate Mother's Day on Sunday morning because of her birthday. So
Yep.
we'll probably gone out to dinner by Saturday. So I'll be free to go. So hopefully I make the trip and do some stuff with the fans that are waiting to get into the arena. But if not, I'll scope out the team and let you know how they look live. Other than that, there's the preseason game in New York in between and the away game to start the season on the 8th. So when the season comes, we will be doing the same schedule as last year, basically finding a day in between games to record, review everything that we haven't, preview everything. We're going to have the first draft in our next episode. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't, we weren't here with us last year. We drafted players that are playing that week, and we have little games we play. So yeah, we'll squeeze that at the end of the next episode. The beginning, we'll be reviewing a little bit of these preseason games and who we liked, who stood out, and then our full predictions for the season, the standings, awards, and then we'll do some player props for the Sun. And if you go back in last year's, it's hilarious. Some players we talked about didn't even make it. Some players we ridiculously undershot or overshot. Some we nailed, but yeah, it's a fun time. Doing that Reagan beers over under, and then having her probably get cut in like a week will be fun. But no, we should know who's on the team and everything. And yeah, so next week will be a real fun episode. This was an educational episode. Hopefully, if you weren't familiar with the roster, if you are, I hope you listened and still enjoyed and took something away from it. If not, thank you anyway. But yeah, we'll be back. Joe, send us off.
Yeah, tell us who you guys thought, in the comments, or reach out to us. We'll probably put up a poll or something before the preseason game starts, just being like who you're most excited to see tonight. I'm very curious to see who the people want to rally behind. And yeah, go Sun. We got basketball. Thanks, everybody.